we doing, everybody? We're back here with another video today. We're going to be going over some different kind of power rankings on the channel. Normally, we're talking about the best teams in baseball, the worst teams, but today we're going to be talking about some players, and this time it's going to be the rookies. So MLB.com released a top 10 rookies player power rankings on their website the other day, and I felt like this would be a good article to look through, read through, talk about, and give you my thoughts and opinions on, because of course, you know I love to rank things on this channel. You know I love to give my reaction to rankings, and rookies is something that I've been getting really deep into recently, specifically prospects and their upbringing and how they've gotten to where they are today. So I'm interested to see where MLB.com and the writers for that website have ranked a lot of the rookies in Major League Baseball for this current season. So as always, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like on it. It really does help support the channel. Subscribe if you guys are new and you enjoy the content. Get in the comment section down below. I want to know what videos you guys want to see. I've been swinging and missing on things recently. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. Like, no one seemed to have seen the Corbin Burns video yesterday, so maybe that's not what we like to see. Let me know what you do like to see though down below. Drop me a follow on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description, as well as make sure you guys check out my Mets podcast, the Mets Up podcast, links in the description. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get this started by Sam Dykstra, MILB, talking about rookie power rankings, some new faces joining the rankings, and he says this is essentially a snapshot of the current favorites to win Rookie of the Year awards in 2021, so that's understandable, and basically they're only taking into account guys that have really played thus far this year, so no Sixto Sanchez because he's been out with a shoulder injury, or a guy like Jared Kelenic who has not yet made his debut. So we start off here at the number 1 spot with Ke'Bryan Hayes of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, he hasn't played much this season because of an injury early on, but we know he had that big first game against the Chicago Cubs. You know, if you're a fan of this channel, that I've been talking about Ke'Bryan Hayes all off season long. This is a kid who I think is an absolute stud, is going to be a beast, could win Rookie of the Year in the National League, and is one of the few redeeming players to watch on the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2021. But that being said, he hasn't played too much yet this year, but also in the same regards, they are saying that it's a snapshot of who they think is going to be able to win the Rookie of the Year awards. The guys at the top have a better chance, and let's be honest, if there is someone in the National League right now, I think Ke'Bryan Hayes is probably one of the most talented rookies. As long as he actually gets to play, he has the glove at third base, he has the bat, he's got some pop, he's going to be the best rookie in the National League. So okay, fine, at number 1, sure, I wouldn't necessarily say he was a lock for my number 1 right now based on what actually has happened, but of course, thinking forward, looking forward, and about how many games he's going to play and the impact he's going to make, Ke'Bryan Hayes is one of the best rookies in baseball, without a doubt. Wow, at number 2, going with Dylan Carlson. That means being ranked ahead of guys like Jazz Chisholm, Yermin Mercedes, just to name a few, some of the pitchers even. I'm shocked Dylan Carlson's at the number 2 spot. I get it, they probably think Dylan Carlson's going to be able, over an extended period of time, to continue to perform at a high level, which is weird. He hasn't been doing much of the batting average side, but the extra base hits have been electric. So yeah, Dylan Carlson's definitely top 5 in my eyes rookies right now, for sure. He's making a big impact for the Cardinals, even though the Cardinals just particularly haven't been good. He's a switch hitter, he's a slugger, he's a beast, and he's been a really good player, and I think he's going to continue to be good this season for the St. Louis Cardinals. But right now at the number 2 spot, I think that might be a little bit high. I don't know. There's guys right now at the major league level who are performing at a super high level that I think I would choose right now a little bit over Dylan Carlson. Now, does that mean I think Dylan Carlson's going to be a worse player? No, but based on what we have seen in this short sample, number 2, you know what? Maybe with that 259, 369, 556 line, it's really not that bad as I think it was. I think I'm probably thinking more when he was hitting 180 and walking and hitting home runs only. He is evening out those numbers a little bit more. Dylan Carlson still is good. It's fine. It's a moot point. It's really not that big of a deal. I'm nitpicking. At number 3, Randy Arozarena of the Tampa Bay Rays. You guys know and love him on this channel. We talked about him all off season long, all postseason long, made some money on his cards. So we're a big fan of Randy here. Didn't know much about him at the start. Of course, said some things. I look dumb. Randy's good now. This year, he's off to a little bit of a slower start, but I think that was like very predictable. Randy was not going to be able to continue to perform and produce at the insanely high level that he was doing at the end of last year and during the postseason. I mean, he was just simply balling out. There's a reason he was called some MF named Randy. Rakes all day and night, all year long, whatever Brett Phillips put on the whiteboard. I mean, Randy is still a very good hitter. He hasn't been looking great in the field. He's looked a little weak out there, a little bit lost at times. His athleticism can make up for it though. But at the plate, pretty good. Now, against breaking pitches, it says he's 1 for 19, and that's a problem. That's something that teams are going to start to probably throw a lot more of, and it's only going to get harder for Randy Arozarena. He needs to make the adjustment. We know to fastballs, he's a dead red hitter. He's going to hit home runs. He's going to get extra base hits. He's going to be able to make that impact. But against the breaking pitches, hasn't looked good. The one thing for Randy though, of course, is that he's been able to just get unbelievably hot at times. We saw it last year. We saw it in the postseason. He can put together stretches of about 40, 50 games where he's absolutely on fire, and that will automatically shoot him right up to the top of this list, because if he performs like he did last year, he's a top rookie in baseball. There's no doubt about it. But a little bit of a slower start to him. At number 3, I'm cool with it. I don't necessarily think he's like the 3rd best rookie right now, but again, they're trying to project for the future, as they said at the beginning, and I guess in the American League, he's one of the better rookies in baseball. Number 4, we've got a tie. Okay, so for the first guy, they're going with Ian Anderson of the Braves, and yeah, it hasn't gone great for Ian Anderson this year. Not a lot for the Braves has in general. They've just been struggling a bit, specifically on the pitching side. The pitching hasn't been strong, the bullpen hasn't been strong, the offense hasn't been strong. They're starting to play a little bit better baseball now, but Ian Anderson has looked just kind of okay. Now, I'm a believer in Ian Anderson. I think that what this guy has, he has some really good stuff. I think he's going to be a very solid pitcher. We saw it last year in 2020. Short sample size, but he was pretty lights out in ERA under 2, I think. He clearly can show that he's a strong pitcher, but right now, he's just not really putting the numbers together. A 4.7 ERA, as they cite in this, in 19 innings, or in 15 1/3 innings, but he has struck out 19, so that's pretty good. And he has a whiff rate above 40% on his changeup, which is stuff you like to see, especially for a fastball changeup pitcher like Ian Anderson. Yeah, they just make a good point. He needs to find a way to generate weaker contact. Right now, opponents are just hitting the ball way too hard against them and getting too many hits, and that's what's getting him in trouble. But as the sample size stretches out, Ian Anderson is going to be fine. Too talented of a pitcher to be a guy whose ERA is hovering around that 5, high 4 range. He's a guy who is at least going to be, I think, like 3.5, and still, as a rookie, that's really solid. I think Ian Anderson's one of the top rookie pitchers in baseball. Number 4, fine. I don't know. I got to see who's behind him, and I think I know who's coming up next. It better be Jazz Chisholm. Okay, number 4 tied. Yes, thank you. It's Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm is balling out right now. There's just no doubt about it. I mentioned him in my hottest hitter videos, top rookies. Jazz Chisholm has just been an absolute beast, and I don't think anybody saw it coming necessarily that he'd be this good this early. Jazz has always been a guy in the minors, high K rate, high walk rate, high power, and a flashy glove, and he's also a great athlete. What would that translate into the majors? We never really knew, but we're finally getting to see him play consistent time at the major league level for the Marlins, and wow, Jazz has been incredible. OPS around 1,000, he's hitting over 300, he's getting on base at a super high rate, striking out a ton, but he's still walking a ton, and on base percentage at 439 when this article was written. That's fantastic. An OPS well above 1,000. He's playing second base right now because they still got Miggy Rojas at short, and he's playing a decent enough short that they don't need to move him out of there. Jazz is performing with the bat, he's performing with the glove, he's performing on the base paths. He had an impressive home run against Jacob deGrom a couple weeks ago that I saw live, and I was like, wow, that was really good. Like deGrom, 100-mile-an-hour fastball out of the zone, and Jazz Chisholm just hit it 400 feet, pulled it. Those are impressive things. That's impressive talent, and Jazz has been an extremely impressive player this far. I thought Jazz would have been number 2 on this list, right behind Ke'Bryan Hayes, if not even number 1. To see him number 4 behind Randy and Carlson and Ian Anderson, I don't know about that. I don't know. I think Jazz at the absolute worst had to be at number 3 here. I'm nitpicking, but he's not getting enough love. I think Jazz might be the real deal. He's a beast. The Marlins trade away Zach Gallen for him. Clearly they have faith in this guy. Number 6, of course, jumping down because we had 2 guys at 4. Casey Mize coming in at number 6. Honestly, kind of surprising he was unranked. I know he had a weak 2020, like just didn't look good, but Casey Mize, a number 1 overall pick a few years back, and he's been incredible in 2021. He's had good stuff. He threw a no-hitter in college. Like there was hype around Casey Mize for good reason, and he's had some really good performances thus far for the Tigers this year, and part of the reason why the Tigers aren't completely atrocious. Now, he doesn't have like 99-mile-per-hour fastball. He doesn't have that devastating slider, but he's got 4 really strong pitches. He's got a great splitter, and that's his huge pitch. That's his out pitch right there, and the fastball is still good enough. It's Ian Anderson, like sitting around 94, but the 4-pitch mix right now is doing really good stuff for him out in Detroit. He's getting great performances, has an ERA at 3.38, a whip at 1.25. He is still walking some guys here and there. He does give up a hit or 2, but the runs are staying off the board. The strikeouts are getting a little bit better. He's attacking the zone. He's looking a lot more comfortable there in Detroit this year, and he's pitching pretty well. So Tigers fans, you should be excited. Casey Mize looking good. He is the real deal. Number 7, another pitcher here, Dane Dunning. Yes, Dane Dunning traded for Lance Lynn, and Lance Lynn has been fantastic so far for the White Sox, but Dane Dunning has also been really good, and Dane Dunning was a top prospect. He was hyped up. He just didn't really get a shot in Chicago, and now he's getting one in Texas, and he's probably their best pitcher by far. So far, he has a .60 ERA, which is really, really good, through 15 innings, of course, a .80 whip, 16 strikeouts, only 2 walks. That's what you love to see out of a young pitcher. Commanding the zone, getting consistent performances out of him, and not walking anybody. That's all you can ask for out of a young pitcher with the stuff that Dane Dunning has, and that's what he's been. He's been by far their best pitcher. Granted, the Rangers don't have a lot of great pitching, but this is a guy that they traded Lance Lynn for. They got him back as a legitimate piece, and he's going to be a part of that rebuild. He's going to end up probably being one of their frontline starters that you're going to be able to see for the future in this Texas Rangers rotation. I'm cool with him being at number 7. I honestly could have seen him being even in the top 5. He's been that good. And then coming in at number 8, his former teammate Michael Kopech, who I'm so glad to see pitching well this year. here. He had a tough 2020, opted out because of COVID, as well as he was just going through some things with his head. Need to clear his head, wasn't feeling great. Coming back from Tommy John surgery, and he is looking strong as ever out of the bullpen. Multiple inning appearances, and his stuff is electric. His fastball is averaging 96.7 miles an hour. He's getting close, touching 100 miles an hour again, which is fantastic because he has an absolutely electric arm. He struck out 17 of the 40 batters he's faced, only 2 earned runs, 3 hits, and 10 2/3 innings pitched. He's looking really good. He's looking really good, and if he can continue to be this high leverage arm out of the bullpen for the White Sox, he's going to get used more and more because that bullpen's been struggling a little bit. Maybe even sneak his way back into the starting rotation, although they don't really need him right now. He has more value in the bullpen. You start getting him more and more innings. He just reminds me of Josh Hader. He used to have the hair, throws gas, absolutely filthy, attacking batters. I love the way he goes out on the mound. Michael Kopech, I can agree with him at number 8. I think that's a very fair spot for him. Number 9, Tristan McKenzie, another one of my favorite pitchers in baseball. I talked about him in videos before. He's so much fun to watch, so exciting. I had him in my top 25 under the age of 25 because, well, this is why he's been really good so far in 2021 for the Indians. He struck out 18 of the 54 batters he's faced, so right about a third. He is walking a few guys, which is why you find him a little bit down on the list, but he doesn't have a bad ERA. His whip is still fine considering how much he is walking guys, 10 walks in 12 2/3 innings, but he's got swing and misses. He's got strikeouts. He's got the stuff, and he's got the swag. I love Tristan McKenzie. He's one of my favorite pitchers to watch in baseball. Good for the Cleveland Indians. I'm sure they'll end up trading him in a couple of years when they can't afford to pay him, but right now he's on that team. He's lanky, he's good, he's got filthy stuff, and the control issues will get under control. Not to be redundant, he's not going to be this guy who's walking everybody in the park. He's a good pitcher. He's going to be fine. Number 9, I'm cool with it. Maybe he could have been off this top 10. I just like Tristan McKenzie, so I'm happy he's on it. And then coming in at number 10, wow, another Indian, Emmanuel Clase. Of course, came over in the Corey Kluber trade, was a part of that whole, like, you know, oh, you got absolutely rinsed, you got fleeced. Turns out that the Indians probably didn't get fleeced. Kluber didn't do anything for the Rangers, and Clase looks like he's going to be a pretty good closer for the Indians for years and years to come. Taking over that role from Karinchak right now. He just straight up has better stuff. I mean, he has a cutter that's like 100 miles an hour. His fastball also is like 100 miles an hour. That's a pretty tough combo to deal with. We've seen what it's done for Corbin Burns. I mean, not a lot of you saw the video, but if you did, you saw me talking about his cutter being a huge pitch. It's a huge pitch for Clase. It's one of the reasons why he's able to have the success. 4 saves in 8 appearances, hasn't let up a run just yet in 7 1/3 innings, so that's great for Emmanuel Clase. We clap it up for him, coming off of steroids, and I think he had some arm issues as well. He struck out 10 batters, only walking 2, which is also awesome because he has had some control issues before and wasn't striking out guys at an extremely high rate. Clase's looking filthy, he's looking strong, and he's gonna be a part of that Indians bullpen for sure. Now, some guys that also received votes that I didn't get mentioned, Bobby Dahlbeck, yeah, I can understand that. I wouldn't put him in the top 10 right now, he just hasn't performed. Tyler Stevenson, same thing, need to see a little bit more. I'm shocked Yerman Mercedes didn't make the top 10. I think there is no love being shown for Yerman for some reason. He has to be in this top 10, 100%. I think he deserved to be here. Zach McKinstry as well, I think could have been towards the back end of it, like around that 9 or 10 range. Just another one of these unknown rookies that the Dodgers call up and continues to perform well. Zach McKinstry, go figure. Dropping out of it, Andrew Vaughn, agreed, has struggled, hasn't looked great. Sixto Sanchez hasn't pitched. Bobby Dahlbeck, we talked about him getting votes, but he also dropped out. Mountcastle has not looked good. Nick Madrigal has not looked particularly good, just not doing too much, and if he's not hitting for a high average, there's not much value there. And Christian Pache has looked a little bit lost at the major league level. Some guys that maybe aren't just ready yet, but are getting the opportunity right now and not particularly performing that great. I'm surprised Akil Baddoo didn't receive a single vote. I'm surprised he didn't receive one at all. Fuzzy's gonna be mad about that. I know he's not playing every day, but Akil Baddoo, where's the love? I'm also shocked Trevor Rogers didn't get on here. Trevor Rogers has been incredible. He has a 1.6 ERA. He beat Jacob deGrom a couple weeks ago. His stuff is electric. Where's the love for Trevor Rogers? Marlins fans, I thought you were gonna get a couple guys on here. You only got Jazz. Trevor Rogers got gypped. I would say him and Yerman are the 2 biggest snubs. So I'd love to know your guys' opinion on these rookie power rankings down in the comment section below. Let me know what you're thinking, as well as what kind of content you want to see from the channel. I'm at this point right now. I need to know. Tell me what you're thinking. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content. Thank you guys for watching. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.